All right, so how to stop letting people and circumstances step over you and how to take complete control of your life and get shit done. So first of all, before watching this, you have to make a decision to take action right after watching this video because it'll literally change your life. So make a decision to take action or just leave this video because it has the potential to flip your life around if you implement the advice that I'm going to give you. So first of all, my story is that I used to have my boundaries violated because I didn't really know what those were in the first place. And so I used to overcommit. I used to people please, and I would take upon tasks that I didn't really want to do. And whenever I'd have the feelings of, oh, I might refuse that request, I wouldn't because I would feel this guilt inside of me. I would feel this shame. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't refuse to take on tasks. I wouldn't refuse to help people with their burdens, with the things that they have brought upon themselves. And so every time I helped them, I would have more and more resentment toward those people that I tried to help because I did not feel like I was in control of my own life. And you might feel this way as well. And so I sacrificed my well-being. I didn't have it, and I prioritized other people's needs over my own. All of it was because of lack of boundaries. Lack of boundaries. If it was lack of boundaries, what do we need? We need boundaries. So proper boundaries involve taking responsibility for ourselves and our feelings, actions, attitudes, and I repeat, not taking responsibility for others, their emotions, actions, and consequences. Boundaries help us to let the good in and keep the bad out. Well, that wasn't a straight line. Whatever. So what people usually think when someone mentions boundaries. If I said boundaries, I'm being selfish. No, you're actually prioritizing self-respect and your well-being. Boundaries are a sign of disobedience. No, you're actually exercising your ability to say yes or no based on values. If I begin setting boundaries, I will hurt others. That's the case, but it's only initially that you hurt them. At first, yes. And you have to be fine with that. But in the long term, no, because you develop mutual respect and understanding. Boundaries mean I'm angry. Angriness usually comes from violated boundaries. Boundaries doesn't really mean that you're angry. It usually means that you're trying to prevent future frustration from occurring. When others set boundaries, it injures me. Others' boundaries aren't really meant to attack you, but it just showcases what they're willing to accept. Boundaries cause feelings of guilt. The thing about guilt is that it's learned. It usually comes from conditional love in the childhood, that whenever a kid is not compliant with parents and parents have this lack of communication towards a child, so that instead of communicating with the child and drawing the lines with the standards and stuff. They don't communicate with the child, and then whenever the child misbehaves, they shame him for it. They guilt trip him, and they install this societal pressure towards the child. And so when the child grows up, whenever he tries to set boundaries, standards for himself, for his own feelings, he feels guilty because he's been conditioned to feel guilty. You've been conditioned. Boundaries are permanent and mean I'm cutting someone off. No, first of all, boundaries aren't permanent. In fact, they're flexible. It's not like you set a boundary and now it's changeable. And it does not mean you're cutting someone off. In fact, you're trying to better the relationships. You're trying to better the relationships. And if it happens to be that someone gets out of your life, that you've cut someone off, well, that means that they weren't supposed to be in the first place. It means that you weren't compatible in the first place, and now you have freed up the space for the next person in your life who is, in fact, compatible with you. The main thing is that you have to learn how to say no. The more clear it is what you have to do, the easier it gets to say no. So you have to set the priorities straight. You have to have crystal clear goals, crystal clear priorities. Let go and don't feel responsible for others. It's not that you cannot help them, you can, but do not take on their burdens. Do not take on their consequences. There's such a thing as cause and effect. You reap what you sow. You have to remind yourself this and also apply to other people. You have to let other people face their own consequences. If you take on their burdens, not only are you building up this frustration and giving away your energy, but you're failing to let other people learn from their mistakes. There's two types of resistance. The first one is internal, and the second one is external. Internal resistance is from yourself, which can come from fear of rejection, through shame, guilt tripping, or uncertainty of what might happen, whether it's dangerous or not. And then comes the external resistance from other people. And the way it comes is people think that you have disrupted the dynamics. You changing the situation, the whole situation, means that they might or will lose their privileges, some sort of privileges. That's why they feel resistance. The second thing would be that they might feel like you're selfish, or you're trying to reject them. Like you're rejecting, and because of that, they might have this internal resistance as well. All right, what can you expect in a day with boundaries and control over your life? You can expect your priorities, your goals, and your efficiency of doing tasks to just go up. You can expect all of these things to get better. You can also expect your relationships to get better because now there's more communication, right? You set clear boundaries. You tell what you accept and what you don't accept. And your self-respect, self-worth, self-image also become so much better. And you just perform way better as a human. All right, here comes the actionable steps that will improve your ability to set boundaries and take more control over your own life instead of the external world. Say no frequently to people and distractions. Second thing is be fine with people being upset. You have to be fine with people being upset with you setting boundaries. It's only normal that they are going to have this resistance towards change of things. Don't blame external world for your circumstances. Communicate more clearly and establish better boundaries. Say no frequently to people and distractions. Be okay with people being upset. Don't blame external world for your circumstances. Instead, try and communicate better with people and with your internal self whenever you're dealing with distractions, and establish better boundaries.